Hello and welcome to this video. For the past 6 months I have been working on Fyremoth and this video is meant to document the progress until now. A quick disclaimer. Some dates in this video might not be 100% accurate since YouTube doesn't provide a way to see the date a community post was made. Over a year ago, Rusty uploaded a community post announcing that he would be streaming with his own custom Hollow Knight skin that weekend. This was the first mention of Fyremoth. In his next two community posts, he shows off his progress on making charms for the skin, calling it Fyremoth V2. His latest community post, mentioning only the skin, was 7 months ago, showing off his inventory with all the custom charm sprites. This is where I come into the picture. On the 27th of March 2021, Rusty uploaded the teaser trailer for Fyremoth. 2 days later, on the 29th of March 2021, I found the video and watched it. After watching it, I was wondering if Rusty had a Discord server and decided to read the video description. This is where I read that he was looking for skilled programmers to help him make a mod, and I was like, yeah, I'm a skilled programmer. After that, I joined the Discord server and spent like 15 minutes trying to find Rusty's account so I could DM him. I sent him a DM and 3 days later we had a Discord server, a GitHub repository for all our code and design files, and we were off to the races. By this time, RedFrog, our other developer, had already implemented the basics for fire damage, although there was one major problem that we would only find out about months later. After this, I spent 5 hours adding in custom dialogue changes. This code, however, was unsuitable for multiple languages and would be rewritten several times. When the dialogue was done, I moved on to loading all textures for the sprite changes. But, as is a trend in my coding style, this would come to bite me in the ass later. At this point, RedFrog also added a custom menu theme. After this, I began to add custom enemy sprites, and this is where my way of loading sprites bit me in the ass. It all began with the room for the Hollow Knight either not loading or loading with the Hollow Knight invincible. At this point, I ignored it and figured it was a problem I could fix later. I moved on and began adding golden skins for the God Home bosses. At this point, every loading screen became infinite. I made the mod load all the sprites at the start of the game, and Unity couldn't handle that. This is when I moved all sprites to Unity asset bundles. Asset bundles are files that can be loaded and serve data to you when you need them. After this, we started inviting some translators to translate Fyremoth to all available languages. We did this totally the wrong way, and no progress was made for a while. When we wanted to add new dialogue, we would have to message the translators and hope they didn't miss our message. This is why we moved everything to a GitHub repository so everyone could access all language files at the same time. After this, RedFrog implemented the custom inventory sprites and I changed the HP balancing for some enemies and bosses. After this, I implemented fire weakness and resistance and made it so that when you hit an enemy from a side where they have a shield, fire damage won't be applied. This is when we found out that Rusty is an absolute moron. For like a month he had been downloading an outdated version of the mod from RedFrog when I said that I had uploaded a new build. I mean, you should think it's common sense that when someone says they uploaded a new version, you don't download the version from someone else. This is why, when I implemented the shield feature, he still didn't have it. After this, I decided to teach Rusty how to make custom scenes or rooms in Hollow Knight. And oh god, that was a bad idea. At first, everything went great, but a few days later, Hollow Knight 1.5 was released, meaning that I had to update Unity. I of course notified Rusty and told him what to do. While doing this, he made two major mistakes. Firstly, he ran commands on his PC someone on the internet sent him without knowing what they did. And secondly, he didn't read the output. The output threw an error that would cause him to lose some progress and would cost me my morning to a 400 messages long thread helping him fix the problem he created. Meanwhile, we found out that fire damage wasn't working as expected. Instead of being applied over a time of a bit more than a second, it was applied over 5 frames or 1/12 of a second. This was because some of RedFrog's checks to see if a certain amount of time had passed were incorrect. Happily, this was very easy to resolve. After the events described before, one of our beta testers got a job at an ice cream shop, and this kind of started a cult. Don't ask me why or how, because I have no idea, but the cult led to this image. And hey, what's that? Mossbag. If you are watching this, I hereby challenge you to analyze the lore behind this image. Please message Rusty on Discord to get into contact. Recently, we made custom enemies, or at least custom enemy variants. They have a different texture, different HP and fire resistance, and we are currently working on altered attacks. We also added integrations for Hollow Knight and Ho-Oh-Neite. Hollow Point now has a flamethrower, while Fyremoth is active, and I don't think I have to explain Ho-Oh-Neite. I'm currently also working on adding all custom enemy placement Rusty came up with. We are currently working on a lot of big features that we don't want to disclose yet, but we are sure you guys will like them when you see them. In the future, a lot more is planned. We are going to add custom charms, achievements and much more. While going through the comments of Rusty's videos, I noticed some common questions that I'd like to address. Is this real? Yes, this is absolutely real. Or are you telling me that the last half of a year of my life has been a lie? Is this mod going to be paid? No, this mod is going to be absolutely free once it's done. Is this just a lazy skin swap? No, it is not. Although it may look like on first glance, there are a lot of new features like items, burn damage and much more. Before I end this video, I would just like to thank Rusty and RedFrog for being awesome people to work with, and our awesome beta testers for being fun to chat with and finding bugs in the mod. I would also like to thank all the amazing modders in the Hollow Knight Discord for helping me whenever I needed it. So I made a little checklist for this video, which you can see on screen now, and oh fuck. Well, guess that counts. Hello, hi, welcome to the end of the video. I would normally ask you here to like and subscribe, but since I don't really do YouTube for the money, for the views, I'd just like you to check out Rusty's channel, since he's a very great guy and is very fun to work with. Creates awesome videos on Hollow Knight and some other platformers and Metroidvanias.